He's joined,
Kunal,
sir.
he joined, yeah.
Anil,
Yeah.
can you please promote Dr.
Nikhil Patel.
Nikhil Patel? Yeah. He's joined, sir.
He joined, yeah.
Anil.
Yes, sir. He's already there in the panelist, sir.
Right.
One sec, sir. He's there, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Nikhil, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
And good morning to Sister Jana in America. Nice to see you all.
Sir,
Nice
Nikhil,
to
sir,
see you. Welcome, Nikhil.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Nikhil, sir,
Pawan?
can you just
Sir.
tilt your camera, laptop, sir?
Sure.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that better?
Sir.
Pawan,
Little
participants entrani channel check cheyi.
Yes,
Sir, 31 uన్నారు, sir.
31, sir.
31?
Yes, sir.
We have another 3 minutes to go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Nikhil, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Who is that? The president?
Dr. George Reddy, sir.
Hi, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste, namaste. Dr. George, namaste. Nice to
I-
see you.
I tried to call you, sir. I think, but Pawan was in touch with you, sir. So I want Pawan to communicate with the entire thing. So thank you, sir, for accepting on very short notice.
Very
sir.
short. Yes, yes.
And
My
Dr.
pleasure.
Jana too,
We were
Sister Dr. Jana,
destined
thank you
to
for
meet.
accepting on a very short notice.
My pleasure. We were predestined to meet virtually. And so is Sister Jana from America, you know. Just by...
And it's interesting because they're
Yeah.
releasing a new mental health app in America called You Are a Warrior.
Really?
And I mentioned to them about us meeting today, and they were saying, could I connect you all to collaborate? Because it's an app that people can turn to for emotional support. So who knows, right? Everything has a significance for happening. There are no mistakes. So it's good that it was last minute, no?
Yeah.
Yes, sister.
That's right.
It is predestined.
Sister Jana,
Good, sir.
this Karnataka State branch of Indian Psychiatric Society are very hospitable and very warm in welcoming. And can you believe in Mount Abu, they sent a shawl and a bouquet.
Wow.
Let me show you.
From
This is
Telangana.
the shawl.
Where's my shawl and bouquet?
That's what I was telling them. That's what I was telling you, know.
Very lovely.
You will get it
Very
when
lovely.
you come back to India. You will.
Yes, you know,
will get it.
Hyderabad is my favorite state to visit when I go to India. It's home for me. And a lot of the family members and individuals who serve with me, all are from Hyderabad.
I know
So
you have brother
some-
Santosh,
Yeah,
computer
my
engineer.
heart belongs to Hyderabad, I tell you. My heart belongs to Hyderabad.
Yeah, it's a good city to live in.
Yeah, it's great people. Very, very, very loving people. Really
And you see Dr. Prasad Rao on the left,
Yes,
down below.
yes.
He is our past president of Indian Psychiatric Society and a very
Wonderful.
spiritual person. And probably
Yes.
he has hinted to invite us to give this lecture. I'm not sure, but I'm just hoping. I'm just guessing.
Yes.
No. The whole of Telangana is a spiritual group. All of
Yeah,
us
that's right.
I can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that. I can see that.
That's
You know,
right.
because we're all in the business of serving, of giving our lives to others. Sometimes the question arises, who serves the servers? Who serves the servers? Who takes care of those who are serving others? And I think we need to have these get-togethers more so that we can support each other at a level that can make the mind strong and the body healthy. So this is very good.
Yeah,
Very, very good.
that's right.
Yeah.
We're just filling in time, the 3 minutes that Dr. Rao has given us
Yeah,
for
we'll start.
some more informal chat. Dr. Rao,
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
seems
I'm
you're
ready.
too busy.
No. I'm just, see, I'm enjoying.
Oh, yes. So
On
tell
one
me,
side-
how much time do I have to talk?
It's total 25 to 30 minutes. And
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure because
yeah.
I never go over my time.
No, you can go over time also. You can take my time, no problem, because
No, I'll do it.
I'm
25 to
anyway
30.
familiar
Perfect.
with everybody.
No,
You
I'm good.
are not, so
I'm
you
good.
are our guest
You know
speaker
what?
today.
I have a really nice meditation. If you can make our office co-host, I can put that on for us and it will help with a lot of mental empowerment. Can we play that as a meditation? Okay,
yeah,
good,
sure.
good, good.
Yeah,
Santosh Bhai?
you will be put as a co-host or panelist. Dr. Pawan, can you
Yes, sir.
do that, please?
Sir,
Yeah.
No, she is already.
ma'am,
Yeah,
as
she's
it is
already.
you're a panelist, you can share it, ma'am. Not an
She
issue.
is already a panelist. She can do it.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
We will play the guided meditation. It's a beautiful visual. It will offer a beautiful experience and you'll feel a lot of peace at the end of this meditation. So I think it'll be good to just have that bonus.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
So I think we have
Start. Pawan,
gone
can we
past 3
start now?
minutes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Pawan,
Sir,
start.
President, sir.
Yeah, Pawan. Let's start. Yeah.
Good evening, all, and good morning to Sister Dr. Jenna. I welcome you all for this first webinar of this term on the occasion of International Yoga Day. And I thank my president, Dr. George Reddy sir, and Dr. Prasad Rao sir, Dr. Kishan sir, and speakers for accepting our invitation at such a short notice, Dr. Nikhil Patel sir and Dr. Sister Jenna. And now I invite Dr. George Reddy sir for his presidential address. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Pawan. At the outset, respected Dr. Prasad Rao sir, Dr. Kishan sir, and my entire office bearers, Dr. Minhas, Pawan, Dr. Narayan Rao, Dr. Sai, and all the EC members. And I see many senior members in the attendees list. A warm welcome to you all. I'm really grateful for this day because after I took the tenure as a president just 10 days ago, and this falls to be the first awareness day, I am grateful to God that starting with this wonderful day, I'm sure this tenure of mine will be very encouraging, and I'm very, very lucky that today is International Yoga Day. And before I give anything else, I really thank Dr. Nikhil sir, because just on a short notice, Dr. Pawan's idea was to pull in Dr. Nikhil sir. Pawan, thank you for that. And thank you very much, Nikhil sir, because we were really scared whether we will be able to get you or not, and we wanted you into the program. And again, thanks to you, sir, because you roped in another famous international personality. We have Sister Dr. Jenna here, and thank you, sister, for being with us on this auspicious day. And many times, at least 5 years back, I was thinking, what is this yoga? We are all, science people, and how come this yoga is being a part of all our, lectures? That's when I realized our senior psychiatrists like Dr. B.N. Gangadhar sir, and at our state level, Dr. Prasad Rao sir, Dr. Kishan sir, these all people are all talking about spirituality. They're talking about yoga. And our people are not simple people that they would never talk without evidence. That's when I was really looking at articles. They're definitely talking a lot about evidence. And thanks to many of our members from the Indian Psychiatric Society, they're doing a lot of research work right from NIMHANS to at various levels. And that's how it started motivating us, at least over the past 5 years. from the Indian Psychiatric Society, from our various other societies, we are definitely celebrating this day because it is becoming a part of our treatment regimen to encourage our patients to do yoga and to meditate, because it's definitely a part of our treatment. And even now, I'm putting it on paper, advise regular yoga, regular meditation, like a tablet or like that. So I feel without taking much time, I think I should introduce our chairpersons today. And I think our chairpersons don't need any introduction to this August gathering. And we have the two eminent chairpersons, and our members know definitely why we have chosen them. But for the two speakers, Dr. Prasad Rao sir, already Dr. Nikhil sir has said, a spiritually oriented person, and definitely he's taking a lot of care in encouraging spirituality and mental health, and this part of yoga and mental health, and a lot of papers. I see him presenting at various international levels. Dr. Prasad Rao sir, thank you for accepting our invitation at a short notice, sir. I think we just called you yesterday in the evening, and thank you, sir. And another
always for you, Kishan.
Right,
Kishan
sir.
and me are always for you.
Thank you, sir. And another famous personality today we have is Dr. Kishan sir. He is one of our very responsible member of our Telangana state branch, and very much oriented about spirituality and yoga. And he's one doctor I see. He practices literally in his clinical practice. He is so much into the spirituality and yoga, and he has brought about so much of awareness in this field. So we thought we should rope in these two eminent persons as our chairpersons without taking much time. And I think I would hand over the mic to our chairpersons, Dr. G. Prasad Rao sir and Dr. Kishan sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, President Dr. George Reddy. It is indeed a spiritual and auspicious day for each one of us. I'm particularly honored to be involved in this meeting. Particularly so when one brother and one sister who are dedicated to the positive mental health of the real large masses across the world. I'm referring to both Brother Nikhil Patel and Sister Dr. Janna. Brother Nikhil Patel, Dr. Nikhil Patel was and has been a kind of a close friend of mine. I think more than 2.5 decades back in Mount Abu, when I had my first experience, he was there. He guided me through the Mount Abu, and on this solemn day, it's my with due respects, I would recollect Dr. Avdesh Sharma, whom we lost last year. Through Avdesh Sharma and Nikhil Patel, I think we have a book on spirituality. Now, coming today, when it's not that Narendra Modi ji, our Honorable Prime Minister, has brought yoga into the world limelight on 2016, 21st June. I think more than in the second decade of BC onwards, we have Vasishta, Yoga Vasishta, and Patanjali Yoga to begin with. But I think over the years, in the spiritual land of India, we had from time immemorial people who have done yeoman service in terms of promoting positive mental health through yoga and meditation. And I'm particularly honored to share these two sessions. Now, with these very brief remarks, I would start introducing Dr. Nikhil Patel. As I said, Nikhil Patel is a wonderful person. I think we both have gone to many an international conference. The last one, if I remember, in person, where myself and Kishan were also there along with Nikhil, was in Israel capital, where it was standalone conference of spirituality and religion, where we also had honor at that time the international sister of Brahma Kumaris, who has come and given a keynote address in that meeting. I think Nikhil has been dedicated, apart from working for the mental health of a lot of patients, in Mount Abu. He is our man from Indian Psychiatric Society, who has been working relentlessly. And over the last more than many years, he is the chair of yoga and meditation of the Indian Psychiatric Society. Nikhil, it's an honor to again interact with you today through, though it is webinar. I would personally thank on behalf of Telangana because, just like I think 30 years back you were the same, even today you are same. We call you,
Thank
you say,
you.
yes, I'm coming. So
Thank
I
you
would
for your
request you
compliments.
I would request you to give your practical experience in both meditation and spreading this message through this. There are a lot of participants already and some are joining already.
Sir, Prasad, sir, with your permission.
Yeah.
I request Dr. Kishan sir to introduce the two speakers.
Just I think that Prasad Rao, our elder brother, has done everything. But the only few words I want to express before Nikhil Bhai took over. So, as everybody knows that today's before that, I want to tell thanks and congratulations to Jaj Reddy for arranging the program within a short period. I think we are getting blessings of a lot of great people throughout the globe now. Jana Bahanbi, Haider, and Nikhil Patel. I think certainly, and you know that nobody knows most of the Telangana State Branch and the IPS not aware about spiritual angle in Jaj Reddy. Jaj Reddy studied in Jiddu Krishnamurthy, the foundation school, and he is already in awareness dynamics, and I know what is there inside. I think you will get now, you are starting this program in your tenure, and I think you will, wish you all the best for future. And also, before that, I'm associated with Brahma Kumaris. I started my the spirituality with I learned alphabets of spirituality from Brahma Kumari 40 years back. So I'm associated with Brahma Kumaris till now. Even in my city, I'm associated all Bahanji, which generally any there we are serving together. But before going to Nikhil Patel, today I think Nikhil ji is going to concentrate on Raja Yoga. So which is standardized by Brahma Kumari University of Spiritual University. And I know personally that I practiced it, and it's a very easy, simple technique. And before that, everybody knows that Patanjali Sutras, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So here, Dharana is focusing, Dhyana is meditating on that whatever the goal you are putting, and Samadhi is identifying with that. So there are different yoga, different yogas. The mantra yoga is there, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, so many things will be there. I think today we are going to concentrate on Raja Yoga, and whatever the rich experience of Nikhil Patel ji and Janab sister will share their experiences. Let us concentrate on this Raja Yoga, and a lot of benefits, a lot of studies published, and with that. And with this few remarks, over to Nikhil Patel and George.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir,
Thank you so much.
Nikhil Patel, sir.
Yeah, I would formally introduce Sister Jana before she starts her presentation. And of course, at the completion of my presentation, it would be my solemn duty to introduce her. May I share my screen now? Yeah?
Yeah.
I and Sister Jana were together on the same dais way back in 2015 in Capitol Hill. I don't know if she remembers or not. On the same day of International Day of Yoga. And my association with Sister Jana is long, and I'll deliberate upon it later. She has been a wonderful, spiritually uplifted, elevated soul. and it's a fortune to interact with her and be with her. I have been endowed with this task of being a chairperson and advisor for last probably 5 years, I guess. And so I'm continuing this legacy. This is Mount Abu, where I stay for last 30 years. And it has a very beautiful, lush green gardens and forests. And the Brahmakumaris have their international headquarters over here. Many of you might have visited Mount Abu, and you might have visited the international headquarters of Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University. And this is a small hospital, 100-bedded hospital. It's a model of holistic healthcare where I have been rendering my services for last 3 decades or so. Under the same roof, you have all kinds of pathies, mainly the mainstream allopathy, all the departments, along with the conventional departments of allopathy. We have Ayurveda, we have homeopathy, we have acupressure, acupuncture, magnetotherapy, physiotherapy, etc., etc. So all these departments are under the same roof. And it's a charitable hospital run by Brahma Kumari's ashram. What I'm going to do today for my friends in Telangana, I'm going to share an overview of meditation or yoga, because it is very important for the psychiatrist to have the basic knowledge of meditation and yoga. We have not been formally taught yoga or meditation during our post-graduation in medical college. And so it's now probably mandatory for us to know the basics of yoga. You know, the yoga techniques, as Dr. Kishan was referring to, are many. And many of them work at the physical level. They improve physical health. They help in getting rid of the medical illnesses, or they are used as adjunct in many of the psychosomatic illnesses. There are some other yoga techniques which work at just mental level, spiritual level, or say cognitive level. And there are a few which have combined effect on physical as well as cognitive or spiritual levels. At the outset, let me put, let me hold a red flag about contraindication of yoga, which we all psychiatrists know. Somebody who is having gross florid psychotic symptoms, yoga doesn't work. I'll go on, I'm going to deliberate upon that point. So these are the main points which I'm going to talk about today: the benefits of yoga, the indications and contraindications of yoga. Not just meditation or yoga for a day or two, but a meditative lifestyle which gives you the maximum benefit. A lot of buzz among scientific community about, you know, the benefits of yoga vis-a-vis gym, vis-a-vis sports or physio. So I'm going to touch that issue also. Of course, some of the psychiatrists who have gone into extensive research of yoga, especially in Nimans, they even recommend for the primary prevention or secondary prevention, you know, for psychotic illnesses or neurotic illnesses. So I'll touch upon that issue as well. And meditation for the psychiatrists, caregivers, and of course, family members. Is it beneficial or not? I'm going to talk about that also. And what are the prerequisites for yoga therapy to be recommended for a patient or an individual? How does it work? What is the mechanism of yoga? Whether it's a physical yoga or a mental yoga. First of all, first and foremost, it produces physical and mental relaxation. Everybody has experienced. No sooner you be in that milieu, you know, collective consciousness of yoga, you feel complete physical and mental relaxation. It decreases stress hormones, it decreases the levels of steroids, it increases the happy hormones, endorphins, enkephalins, it improves cerebral oxygenation, it induces peak experiences. Many of us remember Abraham Maslow, who was the proponent of these experiences called peak experiences, where you have very brief periods of extreme bliss, ecstasy, and they are very health promoting. So meditation can induce this kind of peak experiences. And if you are into a kind of Rajyog meditation, you might reach to the highest motive of the pyramid of the motives of life, as Abraham Maslow said, self-actualization, self-enlightenment. Sister Jena would take us through the guided meditation to that, the ultimate goal of self-actualization, I'm sure. These days, people in the scientific community have a tendency to compare the benefits of physiotherapy or sports vis-a-vis yoga. There's a lot of buzz among people in general about the benefits. The physiological benefits are almost the same. I have gone into many review of the literature and article. I'm not going to present the meta-analysis of all the studies. I'm just going to give you the gist of what I have, learned about yoga over the years as a yoga practitioner, as well as a student of yoga, and of course, student of science. So the physiological benefits of sports or gym or physiotherapy or physical yoga, they are almost the same. The psychological or existential benefits are, of course, more with yoga and meditation, which we must keep in mind. The mental relaxation, the level of mental relaxation, of course, is more with yoga vis-a-vis gym or sports. The meditation, especially these kind of meditations like Raj Yoga meditation or mindfulness meditation or Patanjali or Vipassana meditation, it expands your worldview. So it gives you a broader perspective of the meaning of life, the concept of self, the world, and beyond, the self and the world. Of course, the choice depends upon an individual, how he or she wants to learn yoga and practice yoga. Many times we have to have a tailor-made advice for a patient, which kind of yoga would be of use to a particular patient, because every patient may not be benefited with the same kind of meditation practice. Most of us are aware of these popular yoga techniques, which are available worldwide. Patanjali Yoga, of course, is very well known to the Indian population with 8 limbs: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, the Samadhi. Samadhi ultimately is the final, goal of Patanjali Yoga. The other limbs, external limbs like Yama, Niyama, abstinence from vices and, going within, and concentration and the breathing techniques. And of course, then meditation and Samadhi. This is a kind of a ladder to reach to that ultimate stage of Samadhi, the self-actualization. The Brahma Kumaris Easy Raj Yoga, of course, teaches the same, but they bypass all this, other steps of the ladder. Or even if they, teach you how to reach to the self-actualization or self-realization, they may use a few of the steps of that ladder. Again, a popular yoga is like Ramakrishna Mission Raj Yoga, Swami Vivekananda. Of course, Japanese Zen meditation is also very popular in the eastern countries of the Asian continent. Vipassana meditation, Buddhist philosophy, transcendental meditation, again more popular in the West, and of course being researched. Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, Iyengar Yoga, and of late, for last 2 decades or so, mindfulness meditation, which is very widely used and practiced in the Western world. What are the prerequisites for yoga? Of course, the very first and foremost thing which you have to have is inclination or interest in learning yoga, or at least knowing about yoga. Without that, you probably would just neglect or throw away, oh, what this yoga is, and you may not come to know about it. Secondly, who can learn or who can practice? As I said earlier, the contraindication, the very absolute contraindication for learning yoga or meditation is when the patient has florid acute psychotic symptoms. When patient has lost his insight, he is unable to take care of himself, he is a threat to himself and others. Obviously, he's not an appropriate candidate to learn or practice Rajyoga, any meditation for that matter. The choice and availability of yoga teacher, most of the times it is recommended that you have to have a yoga teacher, but once you practice and master a particular yoga technique, you may not need a teacher. But in the beginning, yes, it is recommended that you have to have an experienced yoga teacher like Sister Jenna, and under the supervision of a yoga teacher, one can practice, especially our patients can practice. Because if something goes wrong, then we can always be in touch with the yoga teacher and have a collaborative, a kind of a liaison treatment for the patient. Extremes of age, of course, is not a good thing. The old-aged people, those who are very old, having dementia, obviously cannot practice. And so is true with the kids, because they haven't yet developed that much intelligence to pick up yoga. But yeah, since teenage, I would say, I became associated with the Brahma Kumaris when I was a teenager. Let me share a brief experience how I came in contact with the Brahma Kumaris. My mom used to go to the Brahma Kumari Center, Anand, in city of Anand. That's my hometown, where Amul Dairy is. When I was a kid, I guess I was studying in 5th class, and my mom used to take me along to the Brahma Kumari Center. The Brahma Kumari Ashram, the center, the atmosphere was so attractive, so magnetic, and they treat the children with so much love and care. They offer you so much prasad and tolis. We call it tolis, and that prompted me to to go to the Brahma Kumari Center when I was a child, along with my mom. When I grew up, when I became a teenager, I started imbibing the philosophy that they used to teach every day in the form of the course and the lectures. They call it murlis, And then I imbibed and understood the actual philosophy of Brahma Kumaris. And then it was so appealing, so convincing. And I continued practicing Rajyoga meditation, even after going to medical school in Surat, where I graduated, I did my post-graduation in psychiatry. And subsequently, Brahma Kumaris institution built this beautiful charitable hospital in Mount Abu. And I had that passion of service, and I got a platform to serve the humanity by being in this charitable hospital. So this is my journey. I have done few research studies on Rajyoga meditation because that is the only technique which I have learned since my childhood or teenage. And I have published a few papers. I have presented in many conferences. So, of course, teenage or as early as, I would say, your adolescence, early adolescence, one can start introducing yoga or meditation if you want to introduce to the children or teenagers, but not lesser than that, not younger than that. Many times there is a prerequisite which is being thought about, that those who have a religious and spiritual background are more suggestible, more amenable or receptive to yoga and meditation. And that's true. There are some, hardcore atheists who don't believe in spirituality and yoga, and they are not the proper candidates to teach yoga. And of course, if you want to practice yoga, you should not have any major profound disability. And of course, time is very important. You have to spend time. For any psychotherapy or counseling to work, you have to have time. So it's true with yoga. You have to have time, and you have to make time available for yourself in order to practice it regularly. The benefits of yoga, as we all are aware of, there are different studies which has proven beyond doubt it induces good sleep, it causes good digestion, it causes sound, refreshing sleep, and so next day you have a very restful awakening, and you have a very fresh and energetic day. Your awareness, your level of thinking becomes expanded, your memory and concentration increase. You have decreased scores on anxiety and depression. And of course, it decreases autonomic hyperactivity. Few more benefits. It decreases the need of medication to an extent, not completely, but to an extent. It decreases the number of sick days. It improves interpersonal relationships. It improves the efficiency, whichever profession you are in. And of course, if you follow a healthy lifestyle, and on top of it, practice meditation, in a way, meditative lifestyle, it's like an icing on the cake, and it causes very quick recovery in psychosomatic illnesses, or it prevents you from developing psychosomatic illnesses. Touch wood, I am reaching now about 60. I have so far not developed any psychosomatic illness in the form of diabetes or hypertension. I still play table tennis every day, or I go for jogging or walking. I practice Rajyoga meditation at least for 1.5 hours a day. And it brings, of course, relaxation, complete relaxation. So these are the benefits of yoga in general. What about Brahma Kumari's Rajyoga meditation, which I have learned and studied over the years? It has a convincing philosophy. It is based on a very appealing philosophy. There are no, odd physical postures or asanas which are recommended. It can be practiced in any comfortable, relaxed posture. It causes a kind of an heightened awareness about the self and the supreme, the divine. And it's a kind of a lived faith, based on yama niyama, like vegetarianism, celibacy. It increases relaxation in the form of physical and mental relaxation. And of course, as I said earlier, on peak experiences and self-actualization. And the most importantly, it's taught free of charge the worldwide. Sister Jenna doesn't charge in America, whereas there are so many unauthorized yoga techniques which are being taught in America, but they are charged heavily. So there's a lot of commercialization these days, which is unfortunate. The sacrosanct yoga, ancient yoga, which is being praised in the scriptures in Gita, has been of late commercialized, trivialized. And I saw a yoga therapy center along with Sister Jena, if I'm not wrong, in 2015, Sister Jena, where we saw a board in Washington downtown, dog down yoga. Do you remember that? That's why I got this picture, of dog.
Yeah, they had dog down yoga.
Yeah, dog down yoga. And we went there upstairs on the third floor, I guess, and inquired about what this dog down yoga is all about. And the lady there, the in charge, explained to us that they keep the individuals into a posture of dog down, on four-legged position in extreme temperature. And that temperature was 55 degree. And I said, how does it work? He said the people they become exhausted, they get a lot of water and toxins out of the body, and that's how they get benefit. I said, we have many laborers and farmers working in our farms, more tedious position than the dog, and they sweat day in and day out, come down to see. So I was just kidding with her. So this kind of, without any scientific basis, in the Gulf countries, for example, they have more than 52, 55 degree temperature. Now they obviously are in yoga, a kind of a dog down yoga, naturally. So a trivialization, and sometimes without any scientific evidence, people have been advocating yoga and different kinds of yoga. They give the titles, very catchy titles, very attractive titles like dog down yoga and whatnot. So this kind of commercialization, trivialization is very unfortunate, but then that's a part of this world, So the carry home message, I don't want to take much of your time because Sister Jenna is more experienced in Raj Yoga meditation, and she would take us into that bliss and ecstasy state. It's not just lecture and learning about yoga, but practice is more important than the teaching or speaking about yoga. So the carry home message for the psychiatrists, practicing psychiatrists, we have to have a holistic approach. Probably this is the need of the hour because it is cost effective most of the times, unless heavily charged by people like dog down yoga. It can be used at least as an adjunct or in select illnesses as a sole replacement for antidepressants or anti-anxiety drugs. And I have seen many examples, even in my practice, that I have been able to make patients get rid of antidepressants by following Raj Yoga meditation and adopting healthy lifestyle. Meditative lifestyle per se is more beneficial as compared to just yoga or meditation plus yoga. So one has to develop that habit to practice and master the technique of yoga in order to have the maximum benefit. And of course, it's contraindicated in psychotic illnesses. It's more useful in secondary prevention as compared to the primary prevention. There are no definite, very convincing or appealing studies which say it is useful in primary prevention. No, it is. If it is not useful for patients, many times it is very useful for the caregivers and of course the therapists like us. This is the international headquarters of Brahma Kumaris in Mount Abu. We call it Om Shanti Bhavan. It's a beautiful hall carved into a mountain, and it's a hall without a pillar, and it can inhabit about 2,000 participants. Who knows? We might have a conference here, Dr. Rao, one day.
Sure.
And we have a better hall available in the downhills in the plains of Mount Abu, where we can incorporate 20,000 participants under the same roof. That's again it's the Asia's biggest hall. There are some pictures of Raj Yoga meditation. This is a mass meditation. Again, in the same hall, Diamond Hall, where 20,000 people can sit. And this is a book which Dr. Rao was referring to. I and Dr. Avdesh Sharma became instrument to get it published as an official joint publication of the Indian Psychiatric Society and the Brahma Kumaris Medical Wing. It's a beautiful book. I am tempted to play Dadi Janki's message. You know, the Brahma Kumari's Dadi Janki, who expired last year, 2 years back, when she was 104 years old. Oh, this cannot be played, it says. All right. So, with these few words, I thank you all for inviting me and be with you on this very auspicious day. Over to the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nikhil Patel. I think you indeed has summarized the essence of what we are celebrating today.
Thank you.
Truly a psychiatrist who practiced Raja Yoga and propagated Raja Yoga to your patients, thousands of your patients, and also through you to the Indian Psychiatric Society. Now, I won't spend too much time, but I need to take just 3 or 4 minutes to introduce Sister Dr. Jenna. Sister Dr. Jenna has truly been an ambassador. If you just go through the Google, which I was trying to do since yesterday, of course, there are wonderful YouTube films. She conducts free sessions every Wednesday and from time to time programs to propagate the essence of Brahma Kumaris. She teaches meditation. In fact, one of her great book, which I happened to read some time back, was about the meditation, and it did add to my knowledge. And Sister Dr. Jenna, I would say, is truly an ambassador, and she's quoted among the top 115 top people in women in meditation, as I see it. But Sister Jenna, it's truly an honor for us. Indian Psychiatric Society Telangana is enriched by your presence, and blissfully we are aware of your time there, and you agreed to be with us. I know it's your morning time. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the organizers, especially Dr. Pawan K. Kulkarni, our Honorary General Secretary, and Dr. George Reddy, our President, I personally would wish to thank you, and definitely I'll give you a shawl when I visit US in my next visit. Not that see, you need to be honored much more than a shawl and something more, but I know your presence makes it. So without much ado, I know Sister Dr. Jenna is going to give us a very lucid talk. I've heard some of her talks since yesterday, and not only that, in the end, she promised us that she would give a brief video in which how to practice Raj Yoga. Is that right?
Yes.
Am I right, Dr. Jenna? Meditation?
That is correct. That's
correct.
That is
so thank
correct.
you, Dr. Jenna, for being with us, and I would request you to continue, and Dr. Kishan would give his further remarks in the end, I suppose.
Thank you so much. Namaskaram. Thank you. Namaskaram, everyone. Om Shanti, and good evening to everyone out there. Dr. Patel, thank you for that very descriptive showing of yoga and the various benefits and practices of meditation. And I appreciate the fact that you have outlined the process of Raj Yoga meditation. There are other institutions and organizations that teach Raj Yoga meditation, but those of you who've been influenced by the Brahma Kumaris have also know that the Raj Yoga that we teach is really about making the mind healthy and strong and wise and prepared. But our time together is about us. Our time together is about the servers, those who spend their whole lives taking care of individuals who come in front of you saying, I need help. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I belong to. I don't know what to do with these thoughts. And every day you sit in front of these souls, thinking inside of yourself, what can I do to help them? I mean, you've got the medications, you've got the knowledge of what's happening on the chemical imbalance of the brain, and you've done the best that you can. And I'm sure you've seen so many of your patients coming back to you again and again, maybe a little bit monitored, maybe a little better, maybe the same, but also maybe worse. You're never sure what else to do. Right now in the United States of America, mental illness has reached an all-time high. The amount of violence, suicides, and road rage and anger that's coming out of souls, it's a sign that there's something happening here at a soul level. And you and I know that the brain is like an organ. It's like the heart, it's like the kidneys, it's like the lungs. And if for whatever reason it's just not functioning, then medication is important. But what about the soul? What about the soul that inhabits the brain? What about your own soul that sits there day in, day out and listen to these stories wondering, what can I do to help? And you do help them. But also, how do you help yourself? How do you serve yourself as a community? What is the best way to serve the server? And that's what I want to talk about today. So first and foremost, what I'd like us to do is just hold a moment of silence. And if somebody's, I think sound is on, maybe you can turn it off for a little bit because we can hear it in the background. But just for a moment, I just want everyone to take a deep breath. Just that. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in again. And breathe out. Breathe in again. And breathe out. And just hold this moment of stillness for you. And observe how you feel just by holding a moment of silence for yourself. To be able to feel your own personal peace, that's your medication for you. To just be at peace with yourself. What do you do when every day you're hearing peaceless stories and it tries to come into your world of peace? How do you protect yourself from it? I liked what Brother Nikhil was sharing about, the fact that we're really all souls, but how do I protect the soul from being influenced by other souls or thoughts of other souls? I have to be rooted and anchored in a thought within myself that protects me. And I'd like to offer you what those thoughts can be. First and foremost, the soul is on a journey. Every one of us have come here with a predestined part to play. And that's a huge mystery. Who has put your part in your soul? Who made you who you are? You might say it's karma. You might say it's God. But put aside that. The acceptance that I am playing this part as a medical physician to help God's children who are mentally in need of peace. So when you hold the belief, I, the soul, I am immortal, eternal, imperishable, and I am peace. That in itself will help you to protect yourself from many peaceless energies that come to you on a day-to-day basis. Because what can happen when you are not able to protect yourself is you block yourself off from feeling. And then it can redirect the energy in you to be numb, maybe even anxious at times, maybe having unhealthy habits, sleepless nights, maybe too much alcohol consumption, or just too much of everything just to block out the noise. But the way to block out the noise is to have the belief system: I am a soul, and I am immortal, eternal, imperishable. I am peace. And every day before you go into the office, you give yourself that mantra. And when you leave the door to go into the office or get on another Zoom call, the second step that you must make is, I'm going to surround myself with an aura and an orb of the energy of God's rays of lights around me. That means I'm going to walk knowing that I'm protected by the energy of God's light, who is the ocean of peace. And every one of my patients and every person that comes to me will feel my peace and the aura of God's light through me. And each time you sit there listening and trying to be a support for someone, you will keep sending the peace that you're feeling from within you, being protected by God's energy, to that soul in front of you, whether it's in the office or in Zoom. And you will tell them everything that they need to hear. And you will prescribe the absolute perfect medication for them to feel some chemical balance. But what they will leave with is a feeling of your peace that you gave them. And it's that peace that enters into their subconscious will help them to heal faster. And it makes you into a double doctor. And like Dr. Patel said, they didn't teach that in postgraduate school. But now you know. There are other ways to protect yourself as a physician, but to find a way, and we've done everything right to help our patients, but we don't always see the result. The third thing I'd like you to look at, I don't know if you're still going into the office or if a lot of your visits are online, but in the meanwhile, try to be a little bit more creative in the way you approach your day-to-day time in the office. Example, if they come into the office or they're coming on Zoom, start the meetings with maybe just some soft music, even if it's for a minute or two. Let them just calm down when they enter into your space so that you can at least try to get the best of them when they start to talk with you. The other thing that I would recommend is, in your surroundings, have positive life affirmations that they might witness or see if they come into your office or in your building, that while they're sitting there, they see something on the wall. Or if you have a video, have positive classes running over and over again, because what a person with mental illness needs over and over again is positive affirmation. The thing is, they only come to you for an hour of positivity, but then they go back home with 23 hours of not having positivity. So if they can somehow get positive affirmation, this can help them to break the cycle of thoughts that they're trapped in at this moment. So in the office, have video footage of good classes, inspirational classes, images around the wall, that even when you walk into the office, you see an image. I was at a conference last week in New York, and I don't know why they had this picture in the bathroom. But every time you went into the bathroom, there's this picture looking at me, and it says, "You are a peaceful and powerful soul, and you are here to spread light to the world." Against my wish, I would see this picture every time I went to the bathroom. And I started to smile at myself, and I went, oh my gosh, that's so subliminal. I can't get that thought out of my head. So imagine If some of your patients are watching things that are so negative, the impact it's having on their subconscious, right? So keep those settings in the office, fresh flowers, water with lemon, things that they can, something that makes them feel a little cared for and holistic when they come to you. Because what can happen after doing your profession for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, sometimes you put your hands up in the air. What more can I do? And you even stop having passion for your profession like you did at the beginning. Do you remember when you first decided to do psychiatry? Do you remember those days? You see, I had a mother that had some mental challenges. So growing up, I witnessed it firsthand. And I know what it requires to dig deep inside of yourself, to not be confused as to why the person behaves the way they do. And when I was a little girl, you know, I wanted to actually become a psychiatrist because I had witnessed my mother going through very challenging stages of her life. Did you remember that empathy that you had where you really wanted people to be happy? Remember when you were thinking, what part of medicine will I practice? And you started to be so attracted to the brain and the mind and personality and the psychology of the human being that you felt that you were going to make people happier and better. And I'm sure you have. And I'm sure you did. But now it's time for you too to be happier and to be able to take care of your own mind and your own heart. And so these simple steps, believe the soul, I am immortal, eternal, imperishable, and I am peace. Believe that. Before you leave the office, before you go in another Zoom session, remind yourself, who am I that's stepping into this scene with this patient? Keep that aura of God's light. God is the supreme energy. You look at the sun, you get heat. Go beyond the sun, go beyond the galaxy. There's an energy of God's energy just flowing through you, wanting to flow through you and around you and use you. Let the energy of God use you so that you don't have to use too much of your energy. Let that energy of light come through you and flow through you, that when your patients hear you, more than anything, they will experience you and they will feel your own personal peace. Third thing, positive affirmations in the office, positive affirmations on video screen. Something that I used to love to do when people would leave my office, I always had a bowl of what I would call good wish cards, positive affirmation cards, blessings. Every time your patient leaves, give them one. It's a positive thought. And you tell them, look at this every day and remember, this is your blessing. This is your good wish for your life. And they will take that little card or little paper and they'll read it. And when they read it from a doctor who is so peaceful, they'll say, thank you, doc. I feel so much better. And you will know you've done everything possible to make that patient better. And you will also know you've done everything to protect yourself from losing your peace. So let's take a moment to go into a little meditation together. And I just invite everyone to sit up and be very, very comfortable, very open. See, one of the things that I've noticed that have made me peaceless in the past, and I've watched other people becoming peaceless, is this unconscious attachment. We walk with our labels. I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a doctor, I'm this one's son, I'm Indian, I'm South Indian, I'm an American. And if anything comes that discredits that or doesn't support it or respect it, you see how you lose your peace. If your wife yells at you when you go home, you're like, what is wrong with her? Doesn't she understand who I am? How much I've done for the day? You know, you can get upset just because of the way your wife looks at you. And you've had a long day, and the last thing you want is to get her glare. It's because I have an attachment to of everything I've done that day. So what if you decided to break the attachments? Like, just for 5 minutes, I don't want to be attached to anything connected to my five senses. You would actually feel yourself as a powerful soul. So let's try to go into that experience for a while. Sit up straight, make sure you're very quiet, and gently, gently just take a breath now. Inhale and exhale. Keep your eyes gently open on the screen, not focusing on looking at all the image. Just gently become reflective where you're going behind your eyes and you're contemplating on these ideas. And observe the feelings that come over you. So take this moment and go inwards, and let's let go of these little attachments to our labels. Om Shanti. The time that we choose to be aware doesn't necessarily require me to just sit and meditate. But even while I walk and move around, I can be in a meditative awareness, which is awareness of the soul, the original, eternal, imperishable being of light. For a little while, I'd like to invite you to be present, to be here, and to be now. Allow your mind to settle in the moment, to relax. This meditation is about awareness. It's about becoming aware of your original and eternal self. It's about connecting to your truth. Let go of your name. And observe yourself feeling nameless. Let go of your gender to discontinue thinking you're a man or a woman. Let it go and observe how you would feel walking around without a gender. Let go of the role that you play and let go of the titles that you own. Observe how you're feeling as you are gradually letting go. Let go of your religion and put it aside just for now. And let go of your nationality and even the language that you're accustomed to. Imagine you have no name, gender, role, title, religion, nationality, or even a language. Ask yourself, how do you feel at this moment. And in this feeling, who would think of you and who would you think of? The Supreme Soul would think of you, and you, the liberated soul, would think of the Supreme. In this state of absolute freedom, I am truly who I am. A free, peaceful, pure, immortal, and eternal soul. Allow yourself to just be absorbed in this awareness. At this time. Just hold your silence for a little longer. Observe the feelings that are coming through you, but especially your peace. Value feeling like this at least once every day, if not more than once. That you take time for yourself first. Like a passenger on a plane, if it's crashing, they say first you hold the mask before you put it on someone next to you. You see, your field is the closest to God's form of service. Do you understand that? It's not that you're transplanting a heart or a lung or a kidney. You are helping someone's brain, mind, to be normal again by being positive, peaceful, clear. That's what God's been trying to do to his children for decades, is to make us clear, make us positive, make us into better human beings. You are close to God in his service. And so you must keep your minds at peace. And you must take care of yourselves too. Thank you. It was my fortune and my honor to spend this time with you today. And I wish you all the very best. Lots of peace and joy. And keep yourself protected by keeping God's light around you. And as Dr. Patel had said, if you ever wanted to do a retreat in India at Mount Abu, I'm sure he'll make all the arrangements possible for you. And do know that there'll be benefit inside out. Dr. Reddy, Dr. Rao, Dr. Patel, and everyone else on the line, it's my humble appreciation that you took the time to invite us into your world, one that is so needed and so overwhelmed. And we deeply appreciate your service. Deeply appreciate that you're there for us. Thank you. Thank you.
May I express my special thanks to Sister Jenna. I think this at this shortest notice, she willingly and happily agreed to my invitation to be the part of this webinar for the psychiatrists of Telangana.
It's because it means so much to me. I had a very important interview with Simran Singh. You know, her sister's the governor of South Carolina. And I canceled that to be with you all. So to give
So
you
kind
an
of
idea,
you. So kind of you.
just to give you an idea of this matters to me because of my exposure as a child growing up and knowing what you all offer and the stresses that you're under. This meant everything for me to be here with you today.
So kind of you. Many appreciations, Sister Jenna. And we, on behalf of the Telangana Indian Psychiatric Society, I wish you good health and happiness for the coming years and look forward to see you again, if not physically, but again in the virtual form. And I'm sure you would
Call on
accept
me
our invitation.
anytime.
Thank
Call
you.
on me
Thank you so
anytime.
much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Om
Sister
Shanti.
Dr. Jenna, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Yes, Dr. Rao, thank you.
First of all, we are humbled by the spiritual journey you took us. We are humbled by the graciousness in which you communicated the message in the briefest form. It is indeed to all the persons who are listening, who listened and who are understanding. And we know the immense contributions of Brahma Kumaris in the spiritual journey of this country. And you are doing it much beyond our borders. So we are thankful to you. Now, may I request Dr. Kishan to give his closing words. Dr. Kishan?
Yeah. Really a fascinating lecture by Nikhil Bhai and the best possible demonstration of Raj Yoga by Sister Jenna. Only think it is wonderful. I think I'm congratulating Telangana State Branch for arranging this program. My opinion is, as Nikhil Bhai told, this is useful, very useful to the practicing psychiatrists as well as the patient attendants. Not suitable for psychosis, not suitable for other major psychiatric illnesses. Certainly, the Raj Yoga gives very good results, and there are a lot of studies how it helps in the hypothalamo-pituitary axis. So many things are there, but these are all things to be now practical to conclude. For conclusion, it is very useful. We are having inclination to Brahma Kumari philosophy, and at the same time, there are a lot of, I'm able to see a lot of young psychiatrists listening this. And as we work together in yoga and spirituality, Nikhil Bhai and myself, Havadesh Bhai, and now Prasad Rao and Rajeshri, and a lot of new youngsters are coming. And thanks to Dr. Gangadhar and Dr. Modi Saab for making International Yoga Day. On this day, since morning, I participated in 3 programs. And yesterday, one day before yesterday, one. These are all things, lot of awareness coming in yoga and spirituality, and the basic things, the Patanjali yoga principles should be remembered. There are a lot of methods of meditations and yogas, different things, but whatever the carry-home message is, you should not forget that we are psychiatrists. And I prefer, if you ask, I prefer to die as a psychiatrist than a philosopher or something. So let us try for your well-beingness. As a health definition is the physical, mental, social, spiritual well-being. Let us all psychiatrists medical practitioners in general should have that spirituality component in their practice, in empathy, and let us be better well-beings first. that is better. Then we have to utilize all the techniques available. There are a lot of high-tech gurus everywhere. Our Dharma is giving a lot of freedom to choose your own method of reaching the Almighty, whatever you define, and that is the availability. But we should not confuse. So there are standardization program is now in NIMHANS. I'm in touch with NIMHANS Integrative Medicine. My postgraduates are posted there. They are developing modules for depression. They are developing modules for the neurotic disorders. They are developing modules of yoga and all these techniques in mood disorders, in depression separately, in mania separately, in schizophrenia and psychotic groups separately, as well as the supportive group. So these are the generic modules should be developed by the psychiatrist, and the future is we shall have to take this mission to the psychiatrist chamber and in service of our patient population. I think Brahmakumari, congratulations again. Their contribution to IPS. A wonderful book. Nikhil Bhai told, already shown the book here, whatever the work, completely sponsored by Brahmakumaris and by Mount Abu head office. What a compilation of all the books. That credit goes to Avdesh Bhai and Nikhil Bhai has done wonderful work along with their sacrifice and contribution to health services in the Mount Abu. Thank you, Nikhil Bhai, and thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, and for wonderful contribution, your mission. And I know how dedicated Brahmakumaris and Brahmakumars and Brahmakumari sisters are for the society. And thanks again, and for choosing the wonderful people for today's talk. Thank you, George, and over to organizers.
Thank you, Dr. Kishan. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. I think indeed it was a wonderful session. I think our psychiatrists will definitely go. Take home message will be very clear to help our patients to talk about this part of our treatment plan. Might be it's really going to help them. I could really see how sister demonstrated and that calmness it could be. Hope we practice it on regular basis, and as sister said, we do it and then we practice and try to tell our patients suffering in need. And thank you, sir, Dr. Nikhil, sir, and Sister Jana. Thank you very much for taking out your time. And Telangana State Branch, on behalf of all the members, we thank you, sir, for your valuable time. And definitely, I think it's a new session. I think we opened from our state chapter, and hope we will try to coordinate, sir, and we'll need your blessings for more programs in the future to help our regular practice and to know the basics and even higher courses. And definitely, sir, if you visit Mount Abu, we'll meet you there, sir. Thank you, sir.
George, any questions?
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to see that, sir.
Yeah.
A lot of comments coming up, sir. Actually,
a lot of comments are there,
No
sir.
comments. You screen the comments and just questions, specific questions you can take. I think there are two legends of, I think they will give you the clarity.
And Dr. Rao and Dr. Reddy, if you ever need just very personal, private time for us to do this together as just a private community, let us know and we'll go through a much deeper thing. I just touched the very generic surface. But
Sure,
for us to
we'll do
really
it, yeah.
understand and experience the soul, feel free to let me know.
Yes, sister.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah, I think there are no questions. I think there are so many questions, but they're not able to ask. But I'm sure keep those questions and try to find answers. That would be much better, I feel. Because this is, I think, a new chapter we have opened on meditation and medication. I think thanks to Dr. Nikhil, sir. I think your topic was very catchy, sir. And I think it will help us in the long run, sir.
There are two questions I'd like to leave you with to ask yourself.
See, this is the only webinar where there is no question from the audience, but there is a question from the speaker.
There are two questions. One is, if you're ever feeling confused and you don't know what to do, ask the self, peace What do you want me to do here? That'll always give you the right answer. Secondly, if you're ever feeling like you're getting really frustrated and really about to get angry or upset, what does the love want me to do here? And the moment you ask these two questions in those specific areas, you will always come out with the right answer and you will maintain your dignity and your power. Those are the two questions.
Yeah.
You
So what
already
does-
answered those, yeah.
Yeah, what does peace want me to do? The
What is
second
love?
one is, what does love want me to do here? And then you'll always get the right answer.
Judge, I gone through all the comments and everything. Most of them are compliments to Telangana State Branch, and most of them are wonderful comments and positive comments on both the speakers as well as the Telangana State Branch. I think only concluding remark again. I want to put it: Brahmakumari Rajayoga meditation is certainly helpful for the wellness, for well-beingness. Normal people as well as neurotic disorders, anxiety, stress, and day-to-day life, how to decrease the stress. All these things are very wonderful therapeutic indications. Or with this closing remarks, over to organizers to conclude. Thanks to Prasad Rao sir for all blessings to Telangana State Branch, blessings to me, your guidance to me personally. And we have done, Pavan is here, Kulakarni Pavan and myself and Prasad Rao has done workshop in Sri Lanka and Jerusalem. I think where we met together. So we are doing that. This is all credit goes to Dr. Prasad Rao and his continuous encouragement. And he has given chance to me when he was president in yoga. When first I entered EC, that I remember that. And since then, our journey started along with Dr. Gangadhar sir's blessing. Thank you. Over to Secretary Pawan.
Sir, we have one question, sir. This is the question answer section. At what point of time do we introduce these techniques to a patient?
May I answer this question?
Yes, sir. Nikhil, sir. Yes.
The answer would be either from the therapist or from the patient himself. If patient wants to have full recovery and wants to experience full potential of one's self, and if he asks for non-pharmacological therapies, and the therapist recommends a variety of non-pharmacological therapies that includes yoga and meditation, let the choice be a mutually agreeable, a kind of a consensus. If a patient is spiritually inclined, oriented, interested, and the therapist knows that it might work as an adjunct or as a replacement or as health promoting therapy, the therapist might recommend at that point in time, keeping in mind, of course, that it would be under the supervision of a trained yoga therapist, whichever school of yoga he or she is willing to learn and practice.
Thank you, sir. Sir George, sir, over to you, sir.
Yeah. If there are no more questions, I think it's we are on time. I think 20 minutes. We have crossed the time anyway. Yeah, that's a wonderful session. Does the Rescue Life Sciences person, Anil?
Sir, I think he's there, sir. I think Mr. Dhanpal.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
there.
can you promote him?
One sec, sir. I just promoted him to panelist.
Yeah, Dhanpal, are
Sister
you there?
Jena, Sister Jena, if you wish to leave, you can.
I do. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Om
Thank you
Shanti.
so much.
sister.
Om Shanti.
Thank you,
Om
sister.
Shanti.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Take
You
care.
too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Conclude.
Sir, Mr. Dhanpal, I don't think is active.
Correct.
Is not there? Okay.
He's there, but he's not active actually.
So,
Okay.
Sir, do we have a time, sir? We have received one more question.
Okay.
If Nikhil sir permits.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Sir, this is from Dr. Sanjay Kumar. Because of therapist preference, if we thrust it on to the patients, what will be the outcome?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Because of the therapist's preference, if he thrusts it on to the patients, what will be the outcome? Probably he's talking about the yoga school or
I already answered
yes, sir.
in my previous question that it should be a mutually agreeable, tailor-made consensus.
Exactly.
It should not be thrust upon.
Exactly.
It may not work. If you thrust upon it, it may not work, One has to have that inclination, that bent of mind to learn, practice, and master the technique. Just learning or practicing for a few days or few hours doesn't make a difference. It has to be on the regular basis and it has to be mastered. Only then there would be visible benefit, therapeutic benefit. Okay.
Yes.
So, George sir, you please
Yeah.
take over.
Yes, sir. Over to, I will request Dr. Vishal.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, Vishal, please kindly give your vote of thanks.
Sir, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all. It gives me immense pleasure in delivering the vote of thanks. I thank today's speaker, Dr. Nikhil Patel, for his elaborative discourse about meditation. It is evident by his presentation that meditation is itself therapeutic and has a lot of benefits on well-being. His talk justifies the title, meditation is a medication. Thank you, sir, for your soothing insights.
Thank you.
I thank Sister Dr. Jena for guiding us and cruising every one of us through Raja Yoga meditation. We express our gratitude to both the facilitators for your services. I thank our beloved chairperson, Dr. Prasad Rao sir, for moderating the session. As usual, Prasad Rao sir class apart and receiving the blessings from the master himself is something to be cherished. Thank you, sir, for taking out time and extending your valuable support. I thank Dr. Kishan sir for his extensive knowledge in the field of spirituality and for chairing the session in spite of his busy schedule. I thank Dr. Jaj Reddy sir, our dynamic president, for his innovative awareness activities. I am always amazed by his style of working. He is a man of action and gives quality output. Thank you, sir, for this lovely program of international standards. I thank our Vice President, Dr. Minas sir, and General Secretary, Dr. Pavan Kumar Kulkarni, and Treasurer, Dr. Narayan Rao sir, and Editor, Dr. Sai Krishna, and other office bearers, and Executive Council members of Indian Psychiatric Society Telangana State Branch for organizing this event without any hiccups. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the wonderful audience who participated in large numbers in spite of short notice, without whom this program would not be such a grand event. I thank the technical team, Anil Martin, for their efforts in giving a seamless experience of meditation. Thank you, one and all. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, Nikhil sir.
Thank you all. Thank you.
With very short notice, and you've been very kind enough. Thank
Please
you.
take care of and See you again, hopefully, in
Sure,
near
sir.
future.
Thank you, Nikhil bhai. Good night.
Thank you, Kishan bhai.
Om
Thank you.
Shanti, Om
Good night,
Shanti.
good night. Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Good
night,
Everybody,
sir.
Om Shanti. Good night.
Good night,
Good
Nikhil
night.
sir.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
ఏం బాబు ఫోన్ థ్యాంక్ యూ చెప్పొద్దు నాన్న నువ్వు మా యంగర్ బ్రదర్ నువ్వు
अनिल क्लोज करेंगे
చాలా బాగుంది ఐ థింక్ స్టార్టింగ్ బాగుంది ఇయర్
2 स्लाइड्स है उसके बाद स्टॉप कर देते हैं।
ओके
రికార్డింగ్ ఉంటే ఆ చిన్న మెడిటేషన్ మాత్రం వీడియో పంపించవా ఉంది కదా చిన్న అది మొత్తం కాదు నాకు చిన్న ఆవిడ చేయించింది మెడిటేషన్ చేయగలిగాం కట్ పేస్ట్ చేయగలిగాము చూడు